Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to Pick a Side Stupid. My name is Sean Carter. This week we are talking about movies that we've seen a million times. I posted a thread in the Facebook group just asking, what people watch the most as a child, and we got a lot of responses, and those responses have been turned directly into questions for the show tonight. So we have a bunch of debaters, a bunch of comedians that are going to debate each other. Whoever wins will move on to the next round, and each time it will be up to you to decide who won that round. So if you look below in the YouTube channel, right below the video, there's a link right where it says, definitely not a scam. Click the link. Click that link. It's definitely not a scam. That's where you vote for who wins and who loses each of these debates. So let's just go around the room and say hi to the comics that are with us tonight. First up, we have our good friend Joe Polana. Hey, Joe, how's it going?
Hey, Sean. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I know you're excited to probably talk about Gremlins, the new batch tonight.
Oh yeah, I got my Gremlins sweater on. I'm fucking ready.
Nice. I'm excited to see a show where you're meant to talk about it instead of just kind of going on that tangent.
Wow. I mean, I appreciate you putting the show so close to President's Day because, as we all know, Gremlins 2 is a President's Day film.
Oh yeah, good point. All right. Well, we'll get into that a little bit later. We also have our friend Wayne Maston with us. Hey, Wayne, how's it going?
How you doing, Sean? Wonderful night here on the northern coast of Massachusetts, where the nor'easter didn't blow us all the way completely earlier in the week.
Ah, nice. Were you in one of the areas that got a lot of snow, or not quite as much?
We got a lot of wetness.
Okay.
No, but it was what we got was really a pain to shovel because it was really damp.
Gotcha. I don't miss it. We got like I think we got what they would call a coating of snow here in Tennessee, and people didn't handle it very well, but it wasn't hard to shovel, so that was nice.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. What was a favorite movie of yours when you were in your youth?
Well, in my youth, you didn't get to see a lot of movies because, we didn't have the internet. So you were kind of stuck with the Saturday matinee, and you got to see it once. And then on TV, you got to see a show or TV and then you got to wait for a whole year to see it again in reruns.
Right.
But I think perennial favorites were always all the Charlie Brown shows, the movies.
Yes.
Those were seasonal, and you knew you were going to see them, and you didn't have to worry about scheduling because you knew they were coming up.
Oh, you're just counting down the days till that Charlie Brown Christmas special.
That's right.
I love it. And speaking of Charlie Brown, why not move on next to our very own Charlie Brown, Tyler Dirtiak?
Good grief. Am I right?
Tyler, what was your favorite movie growing up? Or what did you watch the most times? It doesn't even have to be your favorite, just something that you watched a lot.
For if it's just what I watched a lot, it's probably Remember the Titans, because for like a good chunk of middle school and high school, that was the only movie they would play on every field trip that had like a bus with a TV. So I'd watch it like 3 to 4 times a year through school. I have seen it way too much.
That's great. And you moved around a lot. So did this happen everywhere that you went?
It happened specifically in Australia. I don't know why they love that movie so much, but I saw it every field trip, like several different classes. I did it for cadets. We watched Remember the Titans. They just love Remember the Titans down there, and I don't know why.
All right. I like it. That's a nice little fact about Australia. It's fun. We also have our friend and reigning champion Vaden Jones with us this week. Hey, Vaden, how's it going?
It's going pretty good this week. I will say my back hurts a little bit from carrying around this championship belt, custom made, as you can see, in true Trash Panda fashion. But I'm doing all right. Been being nostalgic about a couple of movies, but mostly just holding this down.
I was gonna say before you said homemade, I was going to ask Sarah where we got the budget to send that out to you.
Oh, it's made out of cardboard.
Oh, perfect. Okay, we could afford that.
And you just have a very weak back.
And then I found a bunch of googly eyes that my the former tenant left, and then I just glued them on there.
Well, that's convenient.
There's and then Arby's. I had Arby's this week. Yeah, no, solid belt. Solid.
Yeah,
belt.
That's a great belt. And what was the movie that you watched most often growing up?
Okay, I watched Predator a lot, but I also watched like Land Before Time, I think, like way too many times.
Yeah. Those two movies just back to back, of course, that makes sense.
Like literally every day on like TNT, those were the movies. And we had cable, so
that must have been a confusing time for you.
We all deal with puberty in different ways.
All right. Well, good to know. We also have our friend Laura Clark with us. Hey, Laura, how's it going? Uh-oh.
Okay, hey. Sorry, I was hitting the space bar and it wasn't unmuting me. I'm great. How you doing, Sean?
I'm great. It's good to see you. What's the background that you have here?
Oh, this is from the first VHS of Titanic, which I have seen 100 times.
You've seen Titanic 100 times?
I've seen the first VHS of Titanic 100 times.
Okay.
It's shorter. It has a cliffhanger ending, and then you're like, I don't know, maybe they all got off the boat in time. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
You want something to feel like you had to, eject the first tape and then put in the second tape that's just all death and tragedy. So like what, like that extra action, and like, why would I? I just watched an hour and a half of like delightful hijinks.
Yeah.
Perfect movie.
That makes perfect sense. I don't know why other people wouldn't watch it that way. It's just a feel-good story in the beginning.
Yeah, right? Like they should have told people in the theaters like when to head out.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's perfect. I don't think that we have any Titanic questions this week, but feel free to just talk about it as much as you want anyways. As you know, people don't always stay on topic on this show. So.
Yeah, no, we'll see. I have every intention of being like a very strict debater and answering exactly the question asked of me.
Great. All right. We also have our friend Hallie Griffin with us tonight. Hey, Hallie.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I can't complain.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what's a movie that you've watched you feel like probably more times than most people have?
I think it's a toss-up between Atlantis, The Lost Empire, which I watched over and over because I had like a pre-pubescent crush on Michael J. Fox. Or his voice. I don't know. There's something about his voice. And The Phantom Menace. Me and my brother were obsessed with that movie when it came out. I think we were like 8 and 10, which was probably the target demographic for that movie.
Yeah.
I watched it recently. It is a pile of shit. It is not good. Am I allowed to curse in front of Stevie? I'm sorry.
Yeah, she doesn't understand English yet.
Okay.
She doesn't know. She doesn't even know that you're cursing.
Oh.
But yeah, bad movie. I learned today that George Lucas is worth $5.6 billion, and I think he should lose half of it for having made that movie.
That
Just for
bug flying alien is definitely a Jew, right?
Oh, I don't know. I
The
don't
one with
know.
the little hat and the big nose, and he flies around. He's like, "Hey, you owe me money, kid." Like,
He's Armenian.
Yeah, that is actually what I've
if
heard.
he's Armenian, why is he wearing a yarmulke?
They wear them.
What?
No. In space, Armenians wear yarmulkes.
All right, which brings me to my next point. We also have our good friend Handren Sibu with us today. Hey, Handren, how's it going?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Great. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you again.
It's been a minute. We both lived in Boston probably last time we saw each other.
Yeah, I think that is true. And you're out in LA now, right?
Yep. I actually run this town now. Everybody's left. I took it over.
Nice. Well, congrats on that. You showed up with just a van, and now you have the whole city.
Yeah, I said, "Hey, Rogan, get the fuck out of here," and he left, and it's mine now.
And you got to keep his microphone. That's nice.
Yep. I said, Jamie's right over there. That's what you guys don't know. Young Jamie, I actually took him too.
Nice. This is great. So what's a movie that you watched like way too many times when you were younger?
For me, especially for the years of like 11 to 17, it was what movies had titties in them. And we had VHS too. I'm not quite as old as Wayne. I don't remember when Talkies came out, but we had VHS tapes. And we just owned a few VHS tapes, so you would watch those a bunch. And so I had Predator 2. I watched that. That one had a good fucking scene in it. I watched that a bunch. There was also this movie called Spitfire with Nick Nolte and this young girl, and she's like a gymnast, and he's a cop, and her dad gets killed, and he has to protect her. But right in the beginning, when her dad gets killed, he's having sex with this woman with huge tits, and she gets killed too. But for a good like 2 minutes, there's this dead woman with the biggest tits out just on screen. And so definitely watch that a lot, which was weird to have her be dead too in the scene.
But you're like 12 years old, and you're like, I'll take what I can get here on this.
And I was like, she's not really dead. It's a movie. This isn't a snuff film. Those are hard to find.
Right. Yeah. You can't afford that anyways. But yeah, all right. I did not write any questions about that one because I did not know that movie either.
It's a weird one. So my uncle used to tape like 3 movies in a row on HBO and then give those to us as gifts for like Christmas and shit. And so we would get it would be like Ace Ventura and then 2 random fucking movies that you've never heard of before.
This is where they got the idea for like the 3-pack that you find in Walmart. It was your uncle.
It was uncle. That's an uncle move right there. Yeah.
Yeah. One kind of good movie, and then 2 that are just like garbage. But it's $4. So what do you do?
Yeah, you could have just given me Ace Ventura. Yeah, but you never know. You might find some dead titties in there.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get into the debate. So first up tonight, we have Hallie Griffin and Tyler Derniak. So, Hallie, do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second, please. Sorry, I keep muting myself because I'm yelling at my cat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, second. So, Tyler, your question, because I didn't write categories this week, so we're just going to go in order. Your question is from James Sheehan. And what James wants to know is, who would you rather have as a companion, the Iron Giant from The Iron Giant or Andre the Giant from Princess Bride?
I'm going to go with the Iron Giant from The Iron Giant because he's way bigger than Andre the Giant, And unlike Andre the Giant in The Princess Bride, he could still lift me up because his degenerative muscle disease hasn't weakened him so much.
Oh.
It's a fact. It's a true fact. It's very sad. You have to it has to be chronological. And you know what? The Iron Giant could take a nuke and save the world. Andre the Giant couldn't in general. Yeah, plus he understood, like, you could teach him about comic books. He was way into Superman. But like if the Iron Giant was around now, he'd be way into the MCU, and that'd be a lot of fun. Iron Giant be way into the Thanos timeline and everything. It's just Iron Giant's cool. He's fun, and he's got a good deep bassy voice. Time.
Well, I personally, as a Rhode Islander, I would bring back on the Andre the Giant. Mostly because that would mean he's alive again, because he's a real person, not a cartoon drawing. So that's I would bring somebody who died of a painful muscular disease back to life by having him be my companion. So that's my reasoning there. Also, I like how you're saying you could teach the Iron Giant about the MCU universe, like you couldn't teach Andre the Giant about the MCU comic book universe. I also think he would be a fan. You could probably talk to him. I don't know, the Iron Giant, he has like that weird like on-off switch, like good evil. If you hit it the wrong way, suddenly you have like a living weapon on your hand. I feel like I could take Andre the Giant if I absolutely needed to. I could. I think that's hubris, but I accept that. I think I could fight Andre the Giant if I absolutely had to. I could not fight the Iron Giant.
First of all, you're like, oh, I want to bring Andre the Giant back from his painful death. I want to bring the Iron Giant back from his death by nuclear missile. He took that missile to save Alaska, and if there's anything worth saving in this world, it's Alaska. And the Iron Giant, I keep saying he, but the Iron Giant is a robot, so they could be anything. They are beautiful and giant, and they can lift me up, and they can help me from my single parent household.
You're gonna marry the Iron Giant?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I agree that the Iron Giant had a painful death, but it was also drawn and not real. Andre the Giant had a real death because he, again, was a real living person. So if I had a choice, I would bring back the dead living person that existed over the dead cartoon that Brad Bird drew. Time. I succeeded.
All right. So many great points here. You can't go wrong when you're choosing between two giants, I believe. But it's going to be up to you, the audience, to choose your winner. So head into the link right below the video on YouTube, where it says voting. Definitely not a scam. Click the link and click that and vote for either Tyler or Hallie. And while people are voting, why don't I ask a trivia question here? And maybe we could start with Joe Palana for trivia tonight.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. So this question, this is definitely one of the easier questions, but you're pretty young, so maybe you haven't seen this movie. I don't know. So your question is, what is something that Goonies never say? And your options are quit, A, quit, B, die, C, sorry, or D, show me the money.
I don't know. I mean, I know what the answer is in the movie, but I feel like they should say sorry a lot more than they do. Like, they are not nice. They make their fat friend show his titties and dance for them. They just barely treat the one person of color like a person. He's just a vessel for gadgets in the film. So I think they should say sorry a lot more than they do. I like the Goonies. Again, it falls into the 80s camp of if you overlook a lot of things, it's very lovable.
It's like every 80s movie.
Yeah. I think now that if I did, I might get it wrong. It's They Never Say Die.
That's correct. They never say die. Goonies never say die. So,
They
correct
also never
answer.
say they love you.
they don't. They're infamous for that. But that is the correct answer. And while you're answering that, we collected all of the votes, and the winner of this round is Hallie Griffin. So Hallie will be moving on to the next round. So next up, we have Vaden Jones and Wayne Maston. So, Vaden, do you want to go first or second here?
I'll go second.
Okay. So, Wayne, your question is from, this is a Gremlins 2 question from Joe Polana. And Joe wants to know, what Gremlins 2 spin-off series would you rather watch? One where Gizmo is acting out the Rambo series in its entirety, or one where Phoebe Cates is hunting down every man who has wronged her on Holiday? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like a running gag in the films that horrible
yeah.
things happen to her.
Yeah.
Well, I think because I've had the main reason that I watched Gremlins over and over and over and over and couldn't wait for Gremlins 2 was because I had a huge crush on Phoebe Cates. So for sure, I'm definitely going to be watching any spinoff that has Phoebe Cates in a major role. And as much as I'd like to watch Stripe doing all of the Rambo movies, because he's definitely got to be much better at it than Stallone could ever hope to be. I'm sorry, I just can't do that because Phoebe Cates has just got so much going for her. And I can't wait to see her turn into super bad girl, doing her thing, taking out all of the other people that she takes out. It'll be just like Fast Times in Ridgemont High again, got to see that kind of stuff. Getting Even is much better than anything I can think of, especially when it comes to Gremlins. Time.
So I just want to clarify, which Gremlin is reenacting Stallone?
And the question that Joe wrote, it's Gizmo that is acting out the Rambo series.
That's what I thought. So Wayne is already wrong for saying it was Stripe. Just want to point that out before I even get started. No, Gizmo would be perfect to reenact. I would watch that YouTube series more times than I've watched The Karate Kid. And let me say, you don't even have to change the dialogue because it's Sylvester Stallone. And Gizmo basically is a translator for Sylvester Stallone. So that automatically makes all the Rambo movies better. Time.
Peyton, I got to agree with you that he would definitely make all the Rambo movies better. But I'm just not sure that I could see a character sitting there going, every time the lights come on, going, bright light, bright light, bright light, bright light. Which would be, that's why I figured it had to be Gizmo, not being Rambo, but rather it would have to be Stripe, because Stripe's such a badass. So it was a miscasting that they made in that, deciding to make the runoff. There is no way in hell that you can miscast Cates.
Look, Wayne, I love you. You're like a grandfather to me. It's okay to be wrong, and I understand why you can't see that would be the right answer when you're blinded by all this shiny metal over here from the champion. But I don't think there's anybody in the world who doesn't want to see Gizmo as Sylvester Stallone, not just in the Rambo series, but in any movie.
All right. So many great points here, but it's going to be up to you, the audience, to choose your winner. So head in to the link right below the video and just click on that, and you can vote for either Vaden or Wayne. And while people are voting here, I'd like to ask a trivia question to Tyler Derniak. Hey, Tyler. How's it going?
Sean. It's going all right. I'm still emotionally recovering.
Great. Well, here's your chance to kind of rebound a little bit. So this, kind of on the same lines as what the question just was asked. We're going to involve Phoebe Cates here as well. So Phoebe Cates was in a number of popular films in the 80s and 90s. Which of these movies was she not in? And your options are A, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, B, Gremlins 2, The New Batch, C, The Outsiders, or D, Drop Dead Fred?
Oh man, she was in a lot of movies, such as no, I'm not. I won't search it up. I'm gonna say she wasn't in Drop Dead Fred. She was not in Drop Dead Fred. If even if it says that on IMDb, it's incorrect. It's it's a Mandela effect situation if she is in Drop Dead Fred. That's how sure I am that she's not in Drop Dead Fred, a movie I have seen thousands of times. My favorite parts of that movie are when John Dillinger, famed cowboy, walks out of the saloon. He's like, "Fred, you're gonna drop dead," as is the climax of the movie. Yeah, so Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah, and I gotta say, what a great answer, and what an incredibly wrong answer that is. Uh, she she is not in The Outsiders. She was in all of those other movies. And
I thought she was in The Outsiders. Isn't there that scene where they're like, "Oh, is everyone inside?" And then Phoebe Cates is like, "No, I'm outsider."
Yeah, maybe she was in it. I don't know. But point is, she was the main character in Drop Dead Fred. Besides Fred, I guess Fred maybe could be considered.
Yeah, absolutely. Fred is the main character. He had that great
Sure.
YouTube channel.
All right. Well, the votes are in, and moving on to the next round is Vaden Jones. So
No surprise here.
keep the belt moving on. And next up, we have Joe Polana and Handred CV. So, Joe, do you want to go first or second?
I would like to go second, please, Sean.
Second, okay.
Pussy.
So, your question
Sorry, what?
here, Handren, is this one's from Wayne Maston, and this is from a pretty popular film. He wants to know, which do you find more insulting, being told that your mother was a hamster or that your father smelt of elderberries?
I'm gonna go with the elderberry thing because I feel like that's a stab that your dad's gay. I feel like that is a slight. They're trying to slip it in there, or he's a cuck or something. They're taking your dad down a notch, and that's not cool with me. Look, insult women all you want. They don't matter. I think we can all agree on that. It's insulting men that is wrong to do. They run the world. They gave birth to us, clearly. And to insult a father it's just, I don't know. It's inexcusable. Why is it in the Middle East, they throw battery acid on women. They don't care about them, okay? But men, they stand for something in this world, and they have a position of power, and when you're trying to take them down, it won't work. Time.
I think that really both insults are at the man, because I'd rather personally have a gay dad than a dad who fucks hamsters. I do think that because it's also it implies a hamster-sized dingus, and so that God's greatest creation, the penis, is being insulted. A hamster is being harmed, which I'm against. So I think all things considered, a stinky dad who may or may not be gay is preferable to a animal rapist. And that's on my tombstone. I've got it carved. I'll have that commissioned. Done.
I want to say that if a man wants to fuck a hamster, a man can fuck a hamster, okay? It is their choice, their decision. How dare you take choice away from somebody? Their body, their choice. If their dick is only big enough to fit in a hamster, why should you keep pleasure from that man? Gay or not, men should fuck hamsters. That's my. What else do I need to say? Did I not get my point across? Everybody agrees with me.
I think there's a big difference here between can and should. I'm gonna go the semantic route. Can, you know what? Go with God, but should, I think, especially we all know hamsters are deathly afraid of elderberries, so it is really a grim sexual scenario that I would not wish upon any father or mother currently alive, currently a hamster.
Time. All right, so many good points here. I'd say both sides equally argued in good faith. And while we're waiting for votes to roll in, and if you're watching on YouTube, just go below, click on the link, and you can vote for either Handred CV or Joe Polana. And while we're waiting for the votes to come in, why don't we ask a trivia question here of Wayne Maston. Hey, Wayne, how are you?
Good.
So this is a question about the animated film, The Brave Little Toaster. Have you heard of it?
I have.
Great.
I have children who watch that show.
Oh, great. So in the film, The Brave Little Toaster, who is credited as the voice of radio? And your options are A, Danny DeVito, B, Phil Hartman, C, H. John Benjamin, or D, John Lovitz.
As much as I would like it to be H. John Lovitz, because that's just a great name for someone to be the radio, I'm sure it isn't H. John Lovitz. Who was the second one?
It's Danny DeVito, Phil Hartman, H. John Benjamin, or John Lovitz.
I don't think it was Phil Hartman. So that leaves me narrowing it down to two choices. And given what I know about Mr. DeVito, I'm going to say it had to be Danny. That would be a role that would be just perfect for Danny DeVito.
It would be perfect for him. However, it was John Lovitz that voiced the radio. Phil Hartman was, I believe, the air conditioner. Yeah. And H. John Benjamin, I don't know if he was doing voice work at the time that was made. Probably. I guess he's been around forever. Yeah. But I don't know.
That movie may have been beneath him, though.
Yeah, I don't think he was attached to that one. But yeah, John Lovitz was the radio. And you know what he said about the movie The Brave Little Toaster when it came out? He said, "It stinks." It's if you remember The Critic, it was a very, very, very good show back in the day that John Lovitz voiced the character on that. Okay, let's see what the results are here. I guess people like women. They voted for Joe Polana. I'm sorry, Handred. I don't know what's going on here, but
this is terrible. This is what's wrong with the internet.
Yes, you have been censored, and it happens. So Joe Pilato will be moving
Next
on.
thing you know, I'm going to be taken off Twitter. Unbelievable.
Oh God, I opened for a guy on the weekend. He got kicked off of Twitter, and it was. We'll talk about it later. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to watch somebody just like, I can't believe I'm getting kicked off Twitter. But also some crazy thoughts coming out in the green room. So we can talk about that later. Hey, next up, Bill McMorrow still isn't here. He was supposed to face off against Laura. So I guess Laura just wins. I mean, we could put it to a vote, but then if people voted for Bill, and who wouldn't want to vote? Bill's great, right? Laura's great. Bill's great.
No, I'd vote for Bill.
He, you know.
No. I've beaten Bill.
And then he moves on, and then he's not here for the next round. I think we just have to, say Laura's got this one. And
could Laura go up against you, but you just do your Bill McMorrow impression?
What you talking about? What impression? Guys, what
I can't beat that.
All right. So we're down to 4 people then. Bill said he might jump on if he, once he gets home, but he's going to be late probably. So we're down to 4 people. Laura Clark and Hallie Griffin, Baden Jones, and Joe Pilato. So let's do the next matchup, Laura Clark and Hallie Griffin.
All right.
Yeah. So Laura, do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second, Sean.
Okay, great. So Hallie,
yeah.
Your question is, of these popular movies, which crossover would you rather watch? A Ghostbusters Angels in the Outfield, or that's right, they have to get rid of the angels in the outfield, or Muppets Dirty Dancing?
Muppets Dirty Dancing. I don't even think, do I even need to explain? It's Muppets and they're dirty dancing. I see the rest of my time.
Okay, 2 things. Number 1, how when we come back, I really need to hear your casting. Like, please, I'm gonna talk for the full minute, but when you come back, I want to know who's playing who in Muppet Dirty Dancing. So, Angels in the Outfield and Ghostbusters are what I like to think of as movies for mean boys, because that's what my childhood was like. I don't know anything about either of those movies. However, I guess I would want to see if like who's Angels in the Outfield? Kevin Costner? Is that Field of Dreams?
That's Field of Dreams. Yeah.
Okay, so like I would like to see a version of Ghostbusters where they're on the Titanic. It is sinking, but as each person dies from being submerged in the icy.
See, nobody remembers Angels in the Outfield. Why would you want to watch Angels in the Outfield? You know what I want to watch? Muppets Dirty Dancing. So Miss Piggy is Baby, obviously. Kermit's going to be Johnny Castle. Let's go against type. Let's have Fozzie Bear play Baby's dad, because I think that would be funny. You can get like Beaker and the scientist, the melon-headed one. I don't know. They're like hotel staff or something. Ratso Rizzo, he's got to be, I don't know. He's like a dancer. I don't know. You got to get Ratso Rizzo in there.
Okay. Rizzo's the piece of shit that knocked up Penny. And then also like Penny, there's not really room for a second sexy Muppet lady. Like Miss Piggy is fucking, she's it. There's no room at the top. But Linda Carter, aka the original Wonder Woman, once was on the Muppet Show. So maybe like Linda Carter could be the celebrity. No. Original. Anyway, so as the Titanic is sinking, each Ghostbuster sort of like talks to the ghost of the now dead Titanic victim.
All right, so many great points. I'm just going to read off a couple of people that were in Angels in the outfield, just so that we get the cast a little bit. Danny Glover, Tony Danza, Christopher Lloyd, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in there, Matthew McConaughey, Adrian Brody. I mean, this is an ensemble cast that we're talking about here. And
Were those last guys like children?
what's that?
Those last, I mean, Joseph Gordon-Levitt obviously was a child, but then who, like Adrian Brody,
Yeah.
was he like a very young person at the time?
I don't know. The movie was from, I think, 1994. I don't know how old
Oh.
Brody is. But maybe.
Never mind. No, I'm sure he was a grown man in 1994.
Okay.
He
All
played
right.
one of the baseballs, right?
That's correct. Yeah, he was one of the baseballs. And hey, vote for your favorite. Like right below the video, click on that link and vote for either Hallie Griffin or Laura Clark. And one of them will move on to this final round.
Imagine
Also,
Kermit picking up Miss Piggy in the air, but his legs are buckling.
Yeah.
He's a tiny
yeah.
Muppet frog.
They always show that.
All right, I got a trivia question for Handred CV here. So, Handred, your question is, the movie A League of Their Own is about what? And your options are A, men playing softball, B, women playing baseball, C, wizards playing Quidditch, or D, a co-ed bowling league. What do you think?
First off, I want to say on the Muppets Dirty Dancing, Rizzo would have been the aborted fetus. That is who he would play in that film. It's very easy casting right there. Now, A League of Their Own, a great film where a man makes a woman cry. I've seen it many times. That is definitely a movie that I've watched a bunch. I would like to think it was about the Boston Comedy Softball League that we all used to play in, and to which point I saw grown men fighting and umpires having to throw members of the Giggles crew out of games. Despite them not even being comedians, they were hired guns, probably on steroids. That would be a good remake for A League of Their Own, but it is in fact a film about women playing baseball during World War II.
That is correct. And even bonus points for mentioning that it was during World War II, because that wasn't even part of the description that I put in there. But, a beloved movie. I know Gary Peterson's favorite movie.
Can I ask you this question about it? They're remaking it, I think, as a series.
What?
Yeah, and they have cast now a racially diverse cast in it, and that was not the case at that time in history. And so they have, in fact, people of different races and colors playing baseball before Jackie Robinson even played baseball. And one, you go, hey, it's Hollywood, do whatever you want. Who the fuck cares? But also, two, you go, well, now that's not portraying history in the correct light. I don't know what is right here.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess just let people enjoy the fantasy of it, I suppose.
You've lost your edge, Sean.
Oh, God, I never had one. I've just been around edges all my life. So, but yeah, are they really making like a series out of that?
I think it's like either Hulu or Amazon is doing a series out of it. Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't have Gina Davis in it, I don't want to see it. So
right, and Rosie.
Yeah,
come on.
If Rosie's gone, get it out of here. All right. So, the votes are in, and in a very close vote, separated only by one single vote here. Hallie Griffin is moving on.
Who doesn't want to see Muppets Dirty Dancing? Vote yourselves now. Sorry.
Yeah, the deck was really stacked against me, Sean.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes when you go second, it just.
It's true. No, it's
Yeah.
fair.
you just get screwed with the wrong side of the question. So, all right. So to see who's going to face off in the finals against Tally, we have Vaden Jones and Joe Polana. So, Vaden, do you want to go first or second?
I will take the champion's leisure and go second.
Second, okay. So, Joe, your question is you have to give a presentation at work, but you lost a bet and you must do it as a character from a popular movie. Do you give your presentation dressed up as Rufio from Hook or as Ludo from Labyrinth?
Oh, Ludo from Labyrinth. There's no question. I want to be a big dog beast, and I want my coworkers to know that about me. I think it's like you get a 1-2 punch. You do a killer presentation, and no one asks you how you got the costume. No one wants to know anything about your personal life from there on out. They don't want to know, and that is a win-win. You crush it. You show that you're crafty and maybe a sexual deviant, and it's a win-win. Win. That's 3 wins. Rufio from Hook. I don't know. I don't want to even people to even think I hung out with Dustin Hoffman. I'll say it. I don't want to be associated with him. And David Bowie, I'm cool with. They have the same accusations. I don't care. I like him more. He sings better. But what's her name? Jennifer. God. She was in Requiem for a Dream. Very different movie.
Okay, look. I know we would all rather pick Ludo, right? I mean, what a class! You get to hang out with Bowie and all that, but we're talking about a pitch meeting here, and what I want in a pitch meeting is to walk in and everybody be chanting my name, Rufio, 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 and look. David Bowie's great. My girlfriend's gonna hate me for saying this, but I'd actually rather hang out with look, it's not all about David Bowie. It's not all about David Bowie, okay? I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna lose this belt just because the Labyrinth was mentioned and my girlfriend's gonna be mad at me. And that's okay. And that's okay because she made this belt for me out of love.
Time.
And the one thing love can't conquer is David Bowie's crotch in Labyrinth. It is a starring role on its own. You get to approach it. You get to be a big silly dog. You get to bring joy to people. You get to solve puzzles. There's just no losing being Ludo. Rufio, it's weird to tell your coworkers I don't want to grow up. It's a strange thing.
Look, I can't compete with David Bowie. But what I can tell you is that I have spent my entire life trying to hold the title for the pan. I even have the mohawk. I even have it. I have it. I haven't dyed it red yet, but I even have the Rufio hair. And I will stand by this and I will not lose my belt. I'm probably going to lose my belt.
All right. So, I mean, you know, who wouldn't want to dress as either Rufio or Ludo? And, you know, the upside to being Ludo is that you only have to say one word the whole presentation over and over again. So, but hey, vote for your favorite. You know, below you can find the link right there. And you can vote for Joe or Vaden. And while people are voting, why don't I ask a trivia question of Laura Clark? Laura,
Yes.
have you ever seen the movie Men at Work?
No, I know the
Oh.
song "Man Down, Land Down Under" by Men at Work.
Yeah. Well, there was a movie in the 90s called Men at Work, and is starring Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. And my question for you is what role do they play in the movie? And your options are A, traffic cops that love to dance, B, garbage men that want to open a surf shop, C, landscapers that own a paint night studio, or D, linemen that break all the rules. I mean, like linemen that, work on power lines.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the second one was garbage men who want to open a surf shop.
Yeah.
And who are the actors again?
This is Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez.
Oh, bros. Okay. So then, I mean, I guess I gotta go with linemen who break all the rules. That just like, that's not a plot. And when you see a sign that says Men at Work, it's people who are like, in scaffolding or up above you or otherwise like in your way, whereas like garbage, they just move along in the truck. You mentioned a paint night studio, which, come on now, this old movie.
Yeah.
And so traffic cops who love to dance, like that's fine, but I think that would have been like against the machismo of the era. So I have to go with linemen who break all the rules.
Yeah, you did a great job of eliminating a lot of these. However, the answer is garbage men that want to open a surf shop.
Nice.
But the reasoning behind eliminating these were solid. So
I feel
nice job.
that they were. Thank you.
Yeah. And also, weirdly, I guess more people saw that movie than I thought, because I had forgotten about it and somebody posted it in the thread. But it was, the only thing I remember that is that you don't touch another man's fries. That was like the famous line from that movie. Jordan, did you watch that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also, how dare you dead name me?
What? What'd I do?
You just called me Jordan. How dare you?
Oh.
How dare you?
Oh God.
Invite me on this show to do
I know.
that to me.
I had held it together for so long too. But yeah, Handren, you saw that.
I did. I think that was a VHS that we owned. It was the only time the Estevez brothers teamed up.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that. So yeah, fun movie. All right, let's see. Oh, we got to see who got the votes, who got the most votes. So it looks like Joe Polano will be moving on to the finals this week.
I think we could both agree, really, Ludo got this
just let me know where you want me to ship this to. It basically wraps itself.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be heading either to Hallie or Joe. Hallie, do you want to go first or second here?
I'll go second.
Second, okay. So Joe, let's see. We're gonna skip the next question. I'm just saying that so that Sarah knows, because I have extra questions this week because Bill's not here. So we'll go to the Footloose question because everybody loves Footloose. So in a reimagined Footloose movie, what's the better location? For the big dance scene, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory or the Death Star?
So either way, no one's making it out alive. Is that the point we're trying to make? I guess Willy Wonka's factory, because then at least when horrible things happen to them, they learn some kind of lesson about the 7 deadly sins while exploring those sins through dance. So I think that's better than being like, I don't think British people deserve to see dancing, even if they're space British people. So no Death Star. Um, they wouldn't know how to handle it, and frankly, they would themselves put a torpedo in the thermal exhaust port at the very witnessing of dancing. They've never experienced joy, and Willy Wonka is not British. Nope. The book is, but the movie is too. But I've decided it isn't. Fuck.
Willy Wonka is literally British. It was written by Roald Dahl, the most British dude that ever existed. I vote the Death Star because I'm okay with people dying a fast, painless death, but they don't die in Charlie's Chocolate Factory. They get maimed, and then they continue living as like a blueberry or a stretched out child or whatever. I don't know. Nuts happened to one of the girls. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. I think a Death Star Footloose would be a lot of fun. You have like a 1 in a million chance of it blowing up. Basically, the only way you're all gonna die is if somebody uploads a map of the Death Star's one weakness at the exact right moment, so they know exactly where to hit. Otherwise, prom's gonna be a good time. Maybe that's what the Empire needs is a nice dance party, and they'll start being less of the Empire and just chill the fuck out.
First of all, little known fact: the entire dance sequence that Kevin Bacon does is the coordinates of the thermal exhaust port and the Death Star. If you were to map it out on a blueprint, it's a dead giveaway. So it's gonna happen one way or another. And also, Roald Dahl is incredibly Welsh. I don't know what you're talking about. The Welsh, I have no issue with. I like dirty thieving Welshmen. I love that. I like that. They can dance. They can get down. They have a dragon on the flag.
Roald Dahl is British. He might be
So
Welsh.
fucking Welsh.
He's ethnically Welsh, but he is a British dude. That guy grew up in Britain. He went to boarding school. He got spanked by like 14-year-old boys. Prefix, I think that's what they're called. If Kevin Bacon is giving the coordinates to the Death Star, he's dying a noble death. Good for him. Time. See my time.
Time. All right. A lot of great points here. And I think, I think we all want to see both of these movies made, but it's going to be up to you, the audience, to choose your winner tonight. So head into the link right below the video. It's not a scam. You just got to click on the link, and then you just give me your, pet's first pet's name, elementary school teachers, social security number, and bank routing information. And then you can vote for either Joe Polana or Hallie Griffin. And, meanwhile, I'm getting word from R.A. Bartlett here that Estevez and Charlie Sheen were also in Young Guns.
Yep, he got me there. Fucking Bartlett strikes again.
I think Charlie Sheen's like so forgettable in that movie, though. You always think of Emilio Estevez as, Billy the Kid.
Yeah. Well, they also did get AIDS together too.
Oh, well, that's probably on that set.
Oh no.
Was that worse? Did I make that worse by saying that? I don't know. What specifically was so bad about the Young Guns that was okay. Well,
Christian Slater gave it to him.
Oh, was Christian Slater in Young Guns?
I thought he was Doc Holliday.
I can't remember any of this now. I have the Young Guns IMDb.
Doc Holliday, was it Val Kilmer?
That's in Tombstone.
My bad. I'm getting it crossed. That's my fault.
Yeah. I don't know. You got Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, Dermot Mulrooney, and Casey Simascu. I don't know. But anyways, that's the cast. So hey, are people voting? And should I ask a trivia question? That's the
I have a piece of trivia. Just to bring this full circle, Kiefer Sutherland was in the Land Before Time movies. In a recurring role as a dinosaur.
Nice.
Yep, that is entirely true.
He was Littlefoot's dad.
Yep.
And he had 24 hours to stop the asteroid.
and he did not. And he did not.
Oh, God.
And he was firmly in support of having friends for dinner.
Friends for dinner.
He was a vegetarian, so.
Vaden, let's ask you this trivia question here. And
Sure.
who knows? Maybe part of this was given away by the last question. I have a feeling you might have known the answer to this before we even asked the last question. But bear with me as we go through the multiple choice options here. Footloose is a movie about a teenager that's fighting back against a ban on dancing in a small town. B, a man who escaped prison and becomes a shoe salesman. C, a rock climber that got stuck beneath a rock and had to cut off his own foot. Or D, karate.
Well, it's not karate because I know karate. And knowing karate, I would have watched that movie at some point. I also know it's not C because that's Cliffhanger. That's a Sylvester Stallone thing. What was B?
Man who escaped prison and became a shoe salesman.
Yeah, I've been to prison, and nobody leaves prison and becomes a shoe salesman. They become stand-up comics. So it's definitely A.
Yeah, that's correct. A teenager fighting back against a ban on dancing in a small town. Yeah.
And despite having been to prison, I have also seen Footloose on Broadway. So I'm very well traveled.
It's a great show. How could you not want to see it? Right.
I feel like Footloose would be a good name for the Oscar Pistoria film.
I would watch that.
That would be like the subplot to his film would be like about his feet. I feel like there's more to his story than that.
Like who's on the other side of the door?
Yeah, that sort of thing. Okay, hey, votes are in, and the winner tonight is by one single vote, just edging out the competition. Our winner is Joe Polana. So Joe, Gremlins 2, the new batch, really came through tonight for you.
I can only assume that meant everything.
Yeah.
And if I have to lose my belt to anybody, I'm glad I handed it off to the champion, a human Gizmo himself.
Yeah, the problem is if the belt is made for like adult pant sizes, it won't fit me.
Oh no, it's actually a very we made it adjustable, so like it has a long.
Is it a boy's husky?
No, it's just as much cardboard as you can fit around you.
Oh, all right, I'm in.
Nice. Well, this was a lot of fun, and before we go, I do want to just mention this because R.A. Bartlett brings us the best trivia. Is that Viggo Mortensen was in Young Guns?
I just saw that. I looked up the cast, and Christian Slater was in Young Guns 2. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there was like 2 years where Christian Slater, he was legally obligated to be in every movie that was made. So
yeah,
he made it in Young Guns too.
That was his penance for Pump Up the Volume.
Yeah, he had to pay it back. So hey, this was a lot of fun. Thanks to all of the comics for joining us tonight. Thank you to everybody that was watching and commenting on YouTube and voted all night and gave us your social security number. We really appreciate that. We're not going to do anything with it, yet. So don't change anything. We love you all, and we'll see you next week.
Ludo forever.
Oh, good.
Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid. Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side, just pick a side, stupid.